Hello guys, let's just do some AI research together. I'm doing research on these hyperconnections, so I'm just understanding them. The idea is that instead of having one hidden state, you can have multiple hidden states and then pass. These are all residual connections. This is a layer in a transformer and you can pass them around. So each hidden state has different kind of information. By the way, tomorrow I have a flight to Beijing. I'm gonna visit the top 2 best AI research universities in the world. I have my friends there waiting for me. They're gonna help me do research, review my research. I'm gonna make videos about it. Just keep in mind that these different hidden states are called streams. So instead of having one hidden state like in classic transformer, that hidden state gets passed through the layer with residual connection. Now we can have multiple hidden states. They may get passed through the layer, they may not, but each of them, they are called streams. And now I have this code that was coded by AI from the paper. I need to review the code, I need to understand what's happening, but understanding the code itself like this is a bit difficult, so I'm gonna actually use different techniques for understanding the code and for understanding what's happening. Join my school to become AI researcher, free trial link below. As you can see here, we have this matrix, and then AM is this first column, except 0. And so we want to select this first column, and then we want to select all of the other columns here, not betas, but just these A columns. So the first column and the rest of the matrix, that's what this code does. So this part of the code selects the first column there, and this selects from the second to the end columns. So the first one is for mixing information and passing it through the layer. And so mixing the streams passing through the layer, and the second part is for all of the residual connections. For each of the streams, how should the residual connections go? So should the stream have a residual connection or not? So I'm just trying to get deep into this topic, trying to understand everything and then do research. And I believe this is valuable because this is a core transformer thing, and transformers are used everywhere, not just in large language models, but also in all other algorithms, JEPA, Bayan-LeCun, everywhere, vision. There is a lot of codes, so what I was showing you is the entire transformer. This is passing this thing through the entire transformer. There is something before and after. First, let's look at this transformer block. This is the forward of the transformer block. So there is attention, there is feed forward, and in between there are these hyperconnections. Let's take a look at this with connection. So the formula is new hidden state is some number beta times layer output. So beta determines how much of the layer output gets added to the residual stream. That is to every residual stream, because we have one layer output and it gets added to every residual stream. Now it may get added in different amounts to every residual stream. So DC, depth connection weight, is for mixing the layer output and residual streams, and width connection weight is for mixing the residual streams themselves. So besides being able to add the layer output to residual stream, same layer output to different residual streams, before this addition happens, it may also mix the residual streams themselves. So, for example, for the first residual stream, it may add a bit of second and third, but may not add fourth at all. And now this becomes the new first. And then same for the second, it may add a bunch of different residual streams. So that's the width connection. So this beta again determines how much of the layer output gets added into every residual stream. And this is how it gets created. There is dynamic beta and static beta. So static beta gets initialized at number 1, and it's learned during the training, but after the training is finished. This static beta always remains the same on the inference. It never changes in the inference after the training. It represents the model's global instinct about how important this specific layer is across the entire dataset. So besides this static beta for each layer, there is also a dynamic component, which is also called router. So the dynamic part is calculated for every token separately, and it will determine how much for this specific token we want to mix of the layer output and each of the streams. So dynamic beta is different from every individual token and every separate stream in the transformer. So each token will be processed through multiple streams, and so every stream will have its own separate dynamic beta. Let's look at this hidden state age. So this is just hidden state in the transformer, the classic tokens, but in this case, in hyperconnections, it's gonna have batch size, which is different conversations, sequence length, which is one full conversation of all tokens, and then number of streams, because usually we would just have sequence length and then dimension, because this dimension is the token, it's the token vector. But here we have multiple token vectors, multiple hidden states. They all kind of get passed through the whole transformer. Let's say it's processing phrase neural networks, and there are two streams. So first for token neural, for the first stream, beta might be 1.05, which means it will add the layer output with a slight boost. So it will multiply the layer output with this and then add it to the first stream. And then that same layer output, because remember, there is just one layer output for every stream. It's gonna multiply that same output with 0.95 and add it to the second stream. Those are examples of beta. And let's say after a neural, it becomes a lot easier to predict networks. So maybe the stream 1 is not necessary, so the output will only go to stream 2 mostly, and the output will be multiplied by a small number and added to stream 1 to skip this layer for this stream. So I asked Gemini, as I'm doing research, should I continue to try to understand 100% everything, the paper, the code, or should I try to run the code in my LLM and look to fix bugs? And should I just try to implement it even if I don't understand it 100%? You have reached the point of diminishing returns on theory. You should stop reading and start coding. Maybe how does it know I reached this point? But anyways, maybe there is this point and maybe it's correct. So in deep learning research, empiricism often beats theory. Unless you see the loss go down or explode, which we do see explosion, you don't truly understand dynamic of the architecture. I'm gonna go ahead and set up a Novita AI GPU. This one is good. Minimum viable understanding. Maybe I need to be careful that Gemini is not just talking nonsense, but maybe there is such thing as minimum viable understanding. So I cloned our LLM. You can run this on just one GPU. I trained for 8 million tokens. You can just tell your AI environment to set it up. If there are instructions, you can read instructions. So the first training seems stable. This is with the hyperconnections, the new paper implementation. Now, I'm not sure if it's buggy or not, but the first training with hyperconnections with multiple residual streams worked well on 8 million tokens. The second one kind of exploded. I'm not sure why. And then I ran it again and it didn't collapse. So I guess I'm just gonna increase training to 8 million or to 20 million tokens. But you see, training time is 4 minutes here. It's 2 minutes 50 here. This is because the first training run will warm up kernels and do this stuff. So don't get spooked out. Why is it so different? Now I'm gonna tell my LLM to train on 20 million tokens 2 times. Maybe I should just do 1 time though. I need to figure out, because I know it's exploding this loss. I need to figure out why. Previously it was 8 million, now it's 20 million. I know at 20 million it will explode. So guys, we managed to fix the problem. The Gemini just recommended lowering learning rate. Before that, we did a bunch of prints to find out the issue, and after lowering the learning rate by about 1/3, in my case, it stopped blowing up the gradients. But the training is like 6 minutes, and without these hyperconnections is like 3 minutes. So 2 times longer training, which is also an issue. It shouldn't be as I understand the paper. So next I'm gonna continue reading the paper, continue understanding, diving deep into this issue, and it will help me understand like everything about transformers and data and how it trains. But I'm gonna leave that for the next videos. But you see the training curve is stable, it goes down stably. Get the cheat sheet of becoming AI researcher. Currently it's free because there is free trial in my school, link below, and see you in the next video.